Hello everyone, this is ZRPG Revamped, and I am here with a Nintendo DS collection. I actually recently got inspired, and by recently I mean today, by Skating Gaming, which you can find on YouTube. Makes great videos, but he put up his Nintendo DS collection, and I've been wanting to get back to making videos, and especially for collection videos lately. And my mom's camera was really good quality. I'm hoping it turns out as good as it is when I upload it to YouTube. But I'm hoping to make a lot more videos like this now, assuming she'll let me borrow it a lot. But yeah, like I said, Nintendo DS collection. It's not a totally impressive collection. I've got some of the gems, but I'm still missing a ton of them. Like a lot of the RPGs I still want. But all in all, I think you're going to see 39 games here in total. Like, that's the exact amount I have. But, yeah, I think that's pretty good, but definitely no TV and Lux collection, so let's just get right into it. I'm hoping this angle is pretty good, too. I know you don't see half of my face, but that's not my goal, so just see the games. The first game is Animal Crossing Wild World. Huge fan of the Animal Crossing series, but for some reason this Animal Crossing didn't do it for me. I can't remember if I played City Folk before I got Wild World, because I know I got this with my DS, and I don't remember what year I actually got it though, because I didn't get it on launch year, that's for sure. But I don't know if it was because it was so similar to that and it was just a downgraded version that made my experience poor with that, because I love City Folk and they're pretty similar. But City Folk just built off of it. But a lot of people say they love that game, and it's in the Animal Crossing belongs in handhelds. And I am excited for Animal Crossing 3D a lot, but that just wasn't one of my favorites. This Brain Age 2, more training in minutes a day, but this is actually this technically wouldn't prove anything because all my games aren't in there, because they're in their they're in the DS case I have, but I actually lost this game in my sister's car one time. It's not a huge loss because I'm not really dying to play Brain Age, but it was one of the first games I got for the system, so that's cool. I just have the case still. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. I thought this was pretty decent. Like I have such fond memories because for some reason my friend had this too. This is like such an uncommon game to have for the DS, because, you know, Call of Duty games naturally belong on consoles, but yeah, me and my friend would play this a lot on the local multiplayer on the DS, and that proved to be a lot of fun. But the game overall is I've never gotten around to beating it, and it's not all spectacular either. Call of Duty World at War. It's I'd say it's better than Modern Warfare, but still not great. Definitely, obviously it doesn't hold up to the console versions, but it's great to have it on handheld. I remember playing Wi-Fi. It was really fun. Like, since you didn't have voice chat or anything, we had to develop different signals, like trying to point with guns and just like joking around in games and like teaming up with people, all to be done silently. So there's really clever ways on Wi-Fi to do that. I had a good time playing Wi-Fi on that. One of the few games on the DS that I played Wi-Fi on. Disney Pixar's Cars. The reason I got this was because I loved Cars on the GameCube, but I never got around to owning it because I rented it once and beat it then. But I wanted a Cars game, but I went to Toys R Us and they didn't have any of the GameCube game or the Wii game left. And at the time I wasn't very aware, so I figured this was the only version they had, and I was like, well, DS version has to be pretty similar to GameCube version, right? So I got this, and it's utter crap. It's terrible. It's just mini games and completely different from the GameCube version, which I still love. Here we got Diddy Kong Racing DS. Obviously a port or remake of the N64 version. I didn't like this very much, and from what I've heard, people haven't liked it as much as they liked it on the N64, but I've never played it then, so fortunately this is my first experience with the game. But he was unique with the flying around and I forget what they're called, the levels, where you float, but it really didn't. Those were easily the worst levels of the game, I think. Like, such an annoying thing to control. I don't know how it was in the original game because I've heard it was amazing. Yeah, obviously from Pete Dorr on the recent episode 100 Live, he said that Ecom Racing was one of his favorites. If not his favorite, it might have been racing game. So, Dragon Quest IX, Sentinel of the Starry Skies. Really love this game. I put in probably like 35 hours, I think, so far, but I've never beaten it. I've gotten so close, so I really need to get back to it. I'm not going to restart it or anything either, because that would be ridiculous. Me and my brother were in intense, like, we would play the multiplayer a lot, and it was a lot of fun together. We were around the same area, but we would race, and then I'd have to catch up to him, he'd have to catch up to me. But ultimately, in the end, he beat me, because he actually beat the game, but I just abandoned it, which is a bad habit I have, but excellent RPG on the DS, though, otherwise. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, I really haven't played this enough at all. I really need to play more of it. But I love the Fire Emblem games on the GameCube and the Wii, though. Game & Watch collection. I actually opened this. I really shouldn't have. It was from Club Nintendo. It's really not worth opening because it's only got Oil Panic, Donkey Kong, Greenhouse. There's, kind of like mini games because they're Game & Watch games. Not really worth. It's not like a retail game, which is obviously why it was a Club Nintendo reward. And I should have kept it sealed in case it became worth something later down the line. Guitar Hero on Tour. It's got this like cardboard box, which came with the peripheral, but it's in my DS case at the moment. But I thought it was pretty decent. But like later, trying to play it, I wanted to play it later. I couldn't play it over like my DS case because it doesn't fit, so it has to be a bare DS, Lite. Nothing extra added on to it. And then I found it to be really small and very hard to do. I didn't have as much problems the first time I got it, which was really early on in my DS experience as well, but it was pretty decent. Definitely not the best Guitar Hero game. Harvest Moon DS Grand Bazaar. I had fun with this game. I didn't play it all through, which is always the case with Harvest Moon games. Like, I love the series, but then I never get hooked enough to play it completely through the game. I don't know if I'll get back to this, though, because my 3DS have Harvest Moon Tale of Two Towns, so I need to get into that more. So it was pretty good. I didn't understand some of the decisions they made. The whole Bazaar idea was cool, but it's really just a gimmick, but a useless one, you know. It didn't really provide something new that the series needed, and it still needs desperately to survive. Jump Superstars. My brother actually surprised me one day when he imported this and brought it home. I definitely need a walkthrough to play this game because I just tried playing it, but I can't understand Japanese at all, and none of it made sense. So I'm gonna need a walkthrough to play this game, which is annoying, but it's Japan only, so I'm out of luck on that one. But it's got a lot of the great anime characters I love, like Yami Yugi, Luffy, and the Death Note characters, and Yusuke, Goku. It's great. If you're a Jump fan, a fan of the Jump animes, then you're really gonna love that. Kirby Squeak Squad. I actually really enjoyed this game. I think it was very short and very easy, that's for sure. But I really don't mind easy as long as you're having fun, and it was a great all-around Kirby game. Again, one of my early Kirby games, one of my early games on the DS I got. And yeah. There's like 3 special powers at the end that I never dabbled in yet, but I do want to get back and try that sometime, but I beat the game. Mario Kart DS. I've heard this is excellent. I've played it and it seems good, but I heard the best selling point of this game was the Wi-Fi, and unfortunately I got around the time where the Wi-Fi was dead by the time I got this. I was like way past 2005 release date. It was just, well, was this a launch title? I'm not sure, because that's really early on. I know that's the year, no, 2004 was the year it was released, I think, so I'm not really sure on the specifics there, but yeah, I ended up with like 3 people in a lobby one time, and I couldn't find anyone after that, so yeah, it's unfortunate, but Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, again, I need to play more of this. It's, me and my RPGs, I'm letting the genre down, but it seems fantastic. You know, the humor's great, like the Mario Luigi games, which I need to get more into the others too. I played Superstar Saga on my brother's copy, but never owned it myself. The Legendary Starfy. If you listen to episode 3 of the Users Gaming Podcast, I was on there and I expressed my dislike of this game. It's really not that bad. Especially, I looked at like the Metacritic score, because I'd never looked at it before that episode. I looked at it afterwards, and it was like, they're all 9s. I think it's like an 89 out of 100 overall, Metacritic. So I'm like the odd one out here. Apparently people seem to love this game. I mean, there's not necessarily anything wrong with it. That's the problem. I mentioned the stupid little dress-up thing you can do in the menu, but I didn't think there were any redeeming qualities to it. I don't get it. I don't get what they love about it, but I think it's a standard platformer, nothing special. There's really no reason to get this when you could get a game like New Super Mario Bros., which I don't have. Shame on me. Monster Tale. I've heard nothing but great things about this game. I remember first seeing it on Nintendo Power, and it really didn't attract me, but they did a whole cover issue on it. So, and I think it got a really good rating. I can't recall, but I know that overall it's gotten good ratings, and I've yet to play this though. But my brother got this along with a copy for himself at $5, so that's a really good deal. I was hearing on like the All Gen Gamers, on some podcasts, one of the podcasts one time, that they were having trouble finding a good price, so I lucked out, I guess. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. This arguably could have been the beginning for 999 of the alphabet, but I took the end. Excellent game. Also expressed in the same episode of the Users, I said the same thing. It's a great experience, as stated by LMG Gaming, the best, I'd say. That's the best way to classify it. Well, I classified it myself as an interactive novel, which is also very true, because it's got puzzle elements. Even though that's the core gameplay element, that's actually a minor part of the game, because the story is a selling point and it's fantastic. So I'd recommend that to any DS owner, really. Pokemon Black version, great game. Obviously I love the Pokemon games, but I've really been slacking lately in Pokemon. I need to beat this still. I got the 8 gym leaders, but then I restarted, so I'm gonna have to play through it again. Cause I hop in and then it's like I'm lost. I don't know what my best Pokemon were and everything. So I really need to start over and continue on. Pokemon Diamond, I loved this game. One of my favorite Pokemon games now. Like, it was such a big moment, like, in my life when it came out, because it's like, wow, the first game on the DS did so many great things. Obviously, that was like the start of where people were like, oh, what are these Pokemon? They're running out of ideas. But then people came to accept it more, and I liked them. But I actually did beat this one. Thank you. And I highly recommend it, but I would recommend Pokemon Platinum over Diamond. I feel like I'm repeating what Skating and Gaming was saying in his videos. He had a lot of similar games and things to say, but get Platinum because it's basically the same game as Diamond and Pearl, but kind of fused together and add tiny little features. Like, if you add Diamond, it's probably not worth it to get Platinum on top of that, in my opinion. But if you haven't gotten a Sinnoh region Pokemon game, then you should get Platinum. Pokemon Heart Gold. This is a nice fancy one that comes with the Pokewalker. We had this pre-ordered, and I love this game so much. I really want to play a Pokemon game just looking at this. I have to beat this one too, but I want to beat Pokemon Black first because Pokemon Black and White 2 is coming out, so I need to play that as well. There's no Pokemon Heart Gold too. This is just a remake of Pokemon Gold, which I also have, but I love that game. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team. Pretty good game in its own right. I love the different like quests you can get helping out the villagers and the way you interact with the Pokemon. It's really great. You answer like questions in the beginning and then you take the role of a Pokemon. You probably know this by now, but it's kind of like a dungeon crawler. It's one of the few dungeon crawlers that I own. But what works well is they always have interesting spin-offs with Pokemon. They go completely different genres. Like Pokemon Stadium takes on the same mechanics as normal Pokemon games, but gets rid of the leveling system and makes it much more multiplayer focused. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is like a dungeon crawler. Pokemon Snap is you're taking pictures. Very innovative when they do their spin-offs. Like it's not just they're just pushing them out to get money, really. Obviously, they want to get more money by making these spin-offs, but it's really it's very unique how they do that now. Pokemon Platinum, I mentioned what I thought about that earlier. Same as Diamond, but a little bit better. Pokemon Ranger, I actually love this game. Another example of the spin-offs, which I like to mention, and how unique they are. Like it took. Seeing it first, like, this is another one early in the life cycle of the DS. It took complete advantage of the touchscreen, how you had to circle around the Pokemon and then avoid the attacks and use different elements to your advantage. It was very amazing how they did that. Love that game. Beat that. Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia. Didn't really do too much to improve upon the other one. In fact, I like the first one better, I think. But I love how you can do missions and stuff. These are my kinds of games where you help villagers and stuff. That just I don't know why it makes me so happy in games, but still need to beat this one though. Professor Layton and the Curious Village. I actually remember I was lucky enough a while ago in the Media Mall / PGRF giveaway. I forget what month it was. Maybe March. I think it was 2011. Maybe 2010, but I think it was 2011, that Nostalgia King did for the community, and I actually won this. It was the only giveaway I was able to participate in, and I really owe it to myself to beat this game now. I put in like 11 hours. I enjoyed it. The puzzles were much different and silly than I expected, but very difficult nonetheless. I enjoyed it. There's so many Professor Layton games, so it's kind of overwhelming to get into the series now. Because it seemed like they made so many. Scribblenauts. Obviously, the same complaints you hear. The controls were not great at all, but the idea was completely innovative. I get where they were going with the graphics system, but sometimes it just seemed terrible. Like, obviously, graphics don't make the game. I am a complete marketer for that slogan, but I don't know, I thought it was just sloppy the way they did it. And then like the way the controls work is just he just starts pushing stuff around trying to grab the Starite at the end of the levels. It's like really weird, but I enjoyed how you could interact with it with your own words. Super Scribblenauts, the only game out of order, just to have it next to this game. It's the sequel, obviously. cover art's a lot nicer to me, but in graphic sense, the same exact thing. But I actually like the first Scribblenauts game better than this, which is surprising. You probably don't hear that from many. I haven't heard many though. Compare these two games. I haven't heard anything on that, but I really didn't like the whole adjective thing. Well, the adjective thing was cool because, like, what else are you gonna do with words? You got to bring in different kinds of words, obviously. But they had these stupid levels where you had to combine these different things. Like, you would have a dog and then a house, and then you'd have to like combine them to make like a dog house. But sometimes it was like a tree, like a fir tree, and then a house, and then it'd be like there wasn't much room for creativity though, because it would have to be one specific thing. Like, because you'd say something like, "Oh, it's a hairy house." No, that's not right. It's actually a furry building. Wow. Because that totally couldn't have worked. But Sims 2 Castaway, terrible. I learned my lesson after the Sims 2 Pets, which I gave away as well. The Sims games on the DS are not good. Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood, very creative RPG. The first Sonic RPG. I think it's the only one at the moment too. There was speculation of a lot of. Whoa! I'm mixing up all my words here. There was a lot of speculations about a sequel to this, but I never heard anything after it. But it's kind of cool. Not the best RPG though. It's got interesting use of the touchscreen. That's back when it was they were really just trying to bump out the use of the touchscreen a lot. Super Mario 64 DS, I don't think it gives me a proper experience with Super Mario 64 because I actually picked that out when I was a kid for the Nintendo 64, but stupid me. I'm a kid, so don't yell at me, but I put a penny in the cartridge and it didn't work, so I really can't remember because I was so young when I played that game. But I couldn't remember much of it, so this is all I had to go on, even though it's changed. It's got all these different characters and added a few stars. I think added 30. Yeah, added 30. Instead of 120 stars, it was 150. But I didn't really like the controls, how it worked. I'm actually thinking about it now. The circle pad on the 3DS has to actually help this game a lot. I really have to give that a try now. Thinking about it, because the D-pad really didn't work for it. Touch Detective, I actually love this game. Got some mediocre reviews, but I've seen some fans out there. I really like this kind of game, a detective game. It's really not too hard to the point where it'll be frustrating, but it's got great gameplay, you know. You can touch around, you can examine the rooms, you can interview people, find out things. It's very cool. Touch Detective 2, 1/2, I think. It's got just a little more content than the first one. There's some side quests, which confused me a bit on how to find this, but it was cool how the story all came together with this, and all the different characters were great. I had to give that. Transformers, Autobots, pretty meh game. It's a game based on a film, so what can you really expect, but it's like really, it's really on the child market, I think, is what it's going for. But the multiplayer is decent, I guess, and the whole fact that you can, it's kind of as close to what you can get for a free roam game on the DS, because you can actually roam around, drive in the cars, as Transformers and whatnot. Wally, decent game, not what I expected at all. You're actually just picking up those trash blocks that you see him holding up at the beginning of the movie. You know, it was like his whole job out there, but you have to like move blocks around it. It's really, they went the wrong way with that. Shaolin Showdown, really not worth your time. Don't do it. Even though I love the show, don't get me wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2007. always forget the title completely, but actually a really good game because it's just like the card game. As long as they stick to the card game and don't try to make stupid mistakes, it's always going to be good. How they can make more and more iterations of that and innovate is beyond me, though. That's the problem. But I really love this game. It's got to have great multiplayer. Obviously, not many people are on Wi-Fi. I like tried a couple times and I ran into the same person twice. So must have been just like me, just trying to find people. Zoo Tycoon DS. My brother gave this to me because he didn't want it anymore, and I can see why. Definitely doesn't hold up to the one on the PC. You'd think it'd be perfect for the DS, though. You can move, you can tap, put things and whatnot. But I haven't played too much of it, but it really wasn't anything special from what I've seen. Lastly, I just want to show you the two cartridges I have, because I don't buy any DS games that don't have their cases. I don't buy any games that don't have their cases, aside from like N64, Super Nintendo, NES kind of thing. But these were just given to me, so obviously I wasn't going to refuse them. Pokemon Soul Silver version, really haven't put too much time into it because obviously I have Pokemon Heart Gold to focus on already. Still have to beat that even though I loved it, so this is cool to have though. And Spider-Man 2. This is a terrible cartridge, but you know, the cartridge isn't a feature though. It isn't a feature to worry about for the game, but I found it be a pretty good game. Still need to put more time into that. So yeah, a lot of need to put more time into that comments. It's gonna be a lot of what you see, because you know, so many games, but so little time, you know. Well, until the next video, guys. See you later. Please, if you watch through all this video, I'd appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment. Let me know your feedback on what DS games I should really try out. Any DS games you want to comment on, if you disagree with any of my opinions, and let me know any other collections you would like me to do, or any other videos in general you'd like to see from me, because I want to focus on collections to begin with, because they're nice and easy to do. Do you want to see a Wii collection, an Xbox 360, Xbox, GameCube, N64, Super Nintendo? It's up to you. PlayStation 2? Anything? So, let me know, guys. Until next time. Check you next time. Oh.